This is Hank for the Wildflower Bee Farm. This is myself splitting a swarm. So we just put this box out and a swarm moved in. Now I'm splitting it. And what a klutz. You're going to see me drop frames a number of times. I'm using this to show basically I'm not treatment free, and I don't know how you can be a treatment free beekeeper if you do anything. Here I am doing a split. Now I don't use miticides or any mite treatments inside the hive with foreign substances, but I treat for mites by doing all these things, splitting twice a year, move. It doesn't matter. You can't, it's a fraud to say there's such a thing as treatment-free beekeeping. Because if you're a beekeeper, you're doing something that is treatment, even though it may not be chemicals. So I was part of that fraud, and I just want to tell. Oh, there's one. Man, this is like a bad show. By the way, both of these hives survived, and the queens were fine in the split and in the one that I'm taking the frames from. So that's that one. I talk about that in this week's podcast that has just been dropped. Also, you're going to see some big drops here. I really messed this up. This idea of nature-based beekeeping. Whoa, oh my God. Nature, I can't. That's why I don't go into hives too often because I'm such a klutz. I also had honey on my hands from the initial frames that you didn't see I opened up that were full of nectar and honey. But no excuses. I'm just a klutz. I think I do it again here. No, maybe not. Anyway, the nature-based fraud is about the belief system they have that our bees hurt nature and spread disease to natural bees such as bumblebees and other bees in an ecosystem. That's absolutely false. All beekeepers that I've ever run into, that I watch on YouTube, regardless of how you interact with your bees, whether you treat them every week with oxalic or whatever you do, you care about nature. Because we know as beekeepers, nature is a big part of what we do. So to suggest there's this unique fantasy group of nature-based beekeepers is a fraud. And I talk about in this week's podcast how I almost became part of that. So two quick things for hobby beekeepers. You keep bees. However you do it is fine. Don't get hung up on any of these little silos where you've got to be a treatment-free person and you exclude other people or talk down to other people. Or nature-based now seems to be another marketing trend to sell products. So it's all explained in this week's podcast. You can have a look wherever you get yours, and you can link on what's there. If you're on Instagram, go there, check it out. I talk about it this week. Have a great one.